What's up, everybody? Man, it's your boy, Mr. Dugai, coming at y'all with another video, man. And today, man, I'm going to take a look back at last season and I'm going to preview and predict this year's NFC West division, yo. First taking a look back in the last season, I think you had the Los Angeles Rams winning the NFC West, the Seattle Seahawks finishing second, you had the San Francisco 49ers finishing third and the Arizona Cardinals finishing last place. First with the Los Angeles Rams last season, man. Great season, man. They became the dream team. As they won the NFL offseason also, they traded for two quality starting cornerbacks in Marcus Peters and Akeem Talib. They traded for deep threat wide receiver Brandon Cooks, and they extended running back Ty Gurley. So they went into last season with it on their mind. Got off to a great start. I think they started off 8-0 until they went to New Orleans and lost their first game to the New Orleans Saints. Had some big epic wins, including that memorable Monday night win against the Kansas City Chiefs that I think won an ESPY for best game of the year in any sport. Finished with the number 2 seed in the NFC, had a first round bye. And me personally, as an Eagles fan, I want to thank the Rams for knocking off the Dallas Cowboys in the divisional round. Shout out the Rams for that. Yeah, and in that game, man, they absolutely ran the football, man. Ty Gurley had a I think Ty Gurley and C.J. Anderson both had 100 yards rushing. C.J. Anderson, man, came out of nowhere out there looking like a modern day Jerome Bettis. You feel me? Running the ball, powering over people as he put on weight but used it to his advantage as, he absolutely ran over and ran through a lot of people, in that game against Dallas. Also Gurley, he didn't have a lot of carries, but he was very effective, including getting a long touchdown run. Um, and at the end of the game, man, Jared Goff had a crucial scramble on the third and long to pick up a first down and basically close out the game against the Cowboys. NFC Championship game, went to New Orleans, was down 13 nothing, but never let things get too out of hand for them. They fought back, came, tied the game up. Saints got the ball late in the game. And now Rams fan, man, we could keep it 100. You feel me? Roby Kluman absolutely closed line Tommy Lee Lewis. And for some reason, the refs ain't called it. The refs was like, they took dozed off and was like, what happened when they heard everybody cutting up, especially Sean Payton. But hey, they ain't call it. You feel me? It's only a flag if they call it. And to the Rams' credit, they came down. Jared Goff led a big drive. They tied the game up, got the overtime. Dante Fowler made a big play hitting Breeze as he threw it. Johnson got the pick. And Zerline kicked the field goal and they went to the Super Bowl, man. Shout out to them for that. But once they got to the Super Bowl, man, offensively, they just laid a flat egg, man. As they had the New England Patriots looking like the second coming of the 85 Bears defense out there. As they absolutely couldn't get nothing going. And when they got a drive together, Cooks had a touchdown pass that got knocked out of his hand. Then he had another touchdown pass that the safety hit him and dislodged the ball. And then Goff threw an interception trying to throw off his back foot to Gilmore. And obviously the New England Patriots went on and won the Super Bowl as the Rams fell short. Um, but last year, man, big seasons out of obviously Ty Gurley, who had a big time season. Goff had a solid season. Andrew Whitworth on that offensive line. Aaron Donald, man, was the most dominant player in the NFL last year defensively, man. He really did his thing last year. Littleton had a solid season at linebacker, and obviously, to leave, he missed some time. And Peters, Rams had a great season, man. Second place in the division was the Seattle Seahawks. Last year was kind of up and down season for them, man. but they finished strong as they led the NFL in rushing last season. Wild card game. Of course, I don't think y'all, because y'all went to Dallas and y'all laid an egg and lost. You know what I'm saying, to the Cowboys in the wild card round. But shout out to the Seahawks for making the playoffs last season, man. As in that game, man, they just couldn't get nothing going offensively. Defensively, they made the game close, but then at the end, Dak Prescott got a big 3rd and 14 conversion with his legs, and Dallas basically hung on. Seattle came down, scored. Janikowski got hurt, so they had to use another guy to kick the onside kick, and it was the worst attempted onside kick in the history of professional football. And he basically pooch punted it downfield to Cole Beasley. But with that being said, man, I mean Russell Wilson, I mean, he did his thing last season, man, carried that offense. They ran the ball pretty well with running backs like Chris Carson and the rookie Rashad Penny. Doug Baldwin, which it turned out to be his last season, he was a model of consistency for that offense. Especially coming out the slot, getting open and making plays. Tyler Lockett, who came into the league mostly as a punt returner, he really did his thing as a receiver last year for Seattle, man. Defensively, a very young defense, man. Frank Clark up front had really got after the quarterback. Obviously, you got, in my opinion, if not the best, the second best middle linebacker in all the NFL, and Bobby Wagner leading the charge. And the team, they lost Earl Thomas early in the season with a broken leg. But the young guys they had back there really stepped up and played well for them, man, which led them to make it to the playoffs. Then third you had the San Francisco 49ers. Um it was a lost season, man. Jimmy Garoppolo came out there, lost to Minnesota, then beat Detroit, went to Kansas City, and again, I was looking like it was going to be an epic showdown between him and Patrick Mahomes. Then he ran on the sideline and tried to cut back in, and bam, he tore his ACL. And basically, the whole season went down the drain along with Garoppolo's knee. But hopefully he shook back and he's healthy now. But after that injury happened, I mean, it was pretty much a lost season for the 49ers. And for the Arizona Cardinals, last place, they had Steve Wilkes out there as their coach. And it didn't go well as the man only lasted 1 year. You know what I'm saying? 1 year they was like, nah, he ain't up for this job. They started off with Sam Bradford at quarterback. Then they benched him, put the rookie Josh Rosen in, who it just didn't go well for him. He had decent moments here and there, but overall it just did not go well for him at the quarterback position, as that team just had a terrible season, which of course led to them having the #1 pick in the whole NFL draft. Not looking forward to this season, man. The Los Angeles Rams. The positives is they're a loaded team. Like wide receivers, they get Cooper Kupp back coming off of an ACL injury. They got Robert Woods, they got Brandon Cooks. They still got Whitworth, along that offensive line. They still got the dominant Aaron Donald. They still got those talented corners. So this team obviously is still loaded with talent. The negatives with them, man, is Ty Gurley apparently has real knee issues, man. I think his trainer or whoever that was came out and said he's struggling with arthritis in his knees. So that's something that the Rams gonna have to really take a look at, man. They drafted another young running back, to kind of give him a little break here and there. But Ty Gurley's health, man, his knees is the big question for the Rams coming into this season. Because obviously they still talented. Oh, and by the way, they also added Clay Matthews at linebacker and Eric Weddle at safety. So talent is there, obviously. When you look at the Seattle Seahawks, man, shout out to Russell Wilson. He got paid. Like he got his money, man. I think Bobby Wagner's still waiting on his money, but those are the cornerstones of that football team. Um, they bringing back them young running backs that they had. They drafted DK Metcalf to go along with the very young wide receiver core because Doug Baldwin has retired. So they're gonna be very extremely young at the receiving core this year. Defensively they traded away Frank Clark, man, their best pass rusher. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they do with losing Frank Clark. And obviously they also lost Earl Thomas, back there in the secondary, which I mean they played almost the whole season without him anyway. But it's a very, very young Seattle Seahawks team, man. Positives, obviously Russell Wilson is one of the best quarterbacks in football, and they ran the ball pretty well, and they got all those running backs coming back. So the defense, the young defense they had last year, you would think with another year gonna get a little better than they was last season with that year of experience and getting into the playoffs under their belt. The negatives, man, is that Frank Clark loss is a big loss to me, man. Who is going to consistently put his finger in the ground and get after other teams' quarterback to protect these young players in that secondary? Frank Clark had a great year last year, and I also think one of their linemen is also suspended for a few games, also to start the season. So the negative with them is, can they get a consistent pass rush on other teams' quarterback? For the San Francisco 49ers, man, obviously, Jimmy Garoppolo is back. They also added Tevin Coleman to the to their backfield, as he's very familiar, obviously, in Kyle Shanahan's offense from their days with the Atlanta Falcons. Um, Offensively, man, they don't have a lot of pieces, but I guess they gonna try to lean a little bit on their running game and play action passing with Garoppolo to hit they very, very talented tight end George Kittle, who was one of the best tight ends in football last year. I know a lot of people don't really know of him like that, but this guy is extremely talented. I want to say he led the NFL. He led all tight ends in receiving yards last year, I want to say, if I'm not mistaken. So running the football and Garoppolo basically hitting Kittle on seam routes, man. Their receiving core, they got the speed with Goodwin, and their veteran with Jordan Matthews. But they could Pettis, they looking for a breakout year from Dante Pettis, man, for him to step up and really take charge of that receiving core. Defensively, man, they added Nick Bosa, who a lot of people feel like was the best player in the draft last season. So they got a talented front, young front, with Solomon Thomas, DeForest Buckner. They got Nick Bosa now. So they got talent up there on that front, man. The secondary, they got Richard Sherman back there. He getting a little older, but still is consistent, still could get the job done. So the positives with them, man, is they look for them to get after quarterbacks this year. I think they're gonna have one of the best young defensive fronts in all of football. The negatives with them is, can these receivers step up and help out Jimmy G? Can they go out there and beat man coverage on the outside? They're gonna run the ball with Coleman. Kittle gonna get his, but can their receivers step up and really create separation on the outside? And then for the Arizona Cardinals, man, the positives is obviously they got Cliff Kingsbury in, who should be an upgrade from their last coach. He should bring an innovative offense along to this team. This team low key has a lot of talent, man. When you look at Kyler Murray coming in with his talent, you look at Larry Fitzgerald. Even though he's old, he still is a good player. Christian Kirk at receiver and punt returner. David Johnson is a forgotten guy in this league, man, as one of the best running and catching backs in football. And I'm curious to see how Cliff Kingsbury uses him this season. And defensively, they still got Chandler Jones coming after the quarterback. They added veteran Terrell Suggs on the other side to get after the quarterback. They still got they still got Buda Baker back there. They got now Patrick Peterson is suspended for 6 games, but when he comes back, he's one of the lockdown corners in all of football, obviously. They still got Hassan Reddick, at linebacker. They still got some talent over there in Arizona, man. I know last year was a horrible year, but I think a lot of that had to do with coaching, honestly. I hate to throw a ball under the bus, but I think a lot of that had to do with just poor coaching, you know. As far as my predictions for the NFC West this season, I'm gonna go to Los Angeles Rams to win the NFC West, man. They just have too much talent, and they got a really good young coach who's only gonna get better from that Super Bowl experience. I mean, when you think about the quarterback, the line, the running backs, receivers, the defense, they just have too much talent. They have more talent than anybody in that division by far. So I got the Los Angeles Rams winning the NFC West. Um, Surprisingly, I'm gonna go with the Arizona Cardinals to finish second, man. I think Kyler Murray gonna have a good, not a great year, but I think he gonna have a good year, man. And he gonna bring an energy to that offense. Him and Kingsbury. I think Fitzgerald still can make enough plays. I think Christian Kirk is a talented receiver. David Johnson is a big time running back. I like Chandler Jones on the defensive end. And once they could just survive them first 6 games, you get Peterson back, towards the latter end of the season. I like the Cardinals to sneak up on some people and finish second in the NFC West. I'm gonna go with the Seattle Seahawks third, man. Simply, their receiving core is gonna be very young this year with no Doug Baldwin. Let's see how they step up, and their defense is very young. And that Frank Clark loss, man, I think that's a bigger loss than people think, man. So I'm gonna go with the Seahawks finishing third. I'm gonna go with the 49ers finishing last in the division, man. Garoppolo gotta stay healthy. I think Coleman gonna help their running back situation. But, they're another team. I think their defensive line is gonna cause people real problems. But I just worry about their wide receiving core and can, Garoppolo, play more than 6 games in the season. And defensively, I like their front seven. I'm not so sure about I'm like their front four. I mean, I'm not so sure about their back seven. They linebackers in secondary. I know Sherman is a good player, but he's getting older, and I'm not so sure about the other players in their secondary. So I got the Los Angeles Rams winning the NFC West. I got the Arizona Cardinals finishing second. I got the Seattle Seahawks finishing third, and I got the San Francisco 49ers finishing last in the NFC West. But with that being said, man, that's all I got for y'all today. Appreciate y'all checking out the video. Go and hit the like button and give me a subscribe, man. I'm gonna have NFL content, man, throughout the year. Y'all have a blessed one. Fly Eagles fly. Good luck to everybody in the West.